anyway, I'll manage.
Yeah, and then
So
when you
that's what I've been doing.
write like that, it'll be stiff, but you could write
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I can't. Yeah, I'm just going to shut
Task,
my
won't
eyes and go and get it done. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not going to overthink it because if I overthink it, I'll change my mind
Yeah,
and won't
right. No,
go.
get it done. Worth getting it done. Exactly.
Mm.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I know seems to be ages since we've been on, but I don't know. It's been busy. It's been busy. But anyway,
mm. It's good.
and it's so close to Christmas. I can't believe
Mm.
where the time has gone. As probably
No,
everybody listening or
no.
watching is the same. I was speaking to someone today, and they said they weren't ready for Christmas. I said, no, I don't really know if I'm ready for Christmas yet either. It's come around really quickly.
Every year it comes around that little bit faster.
It does. Yep.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's like a toilet roll.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're very lucky tonight, aren't we?
Oh,
You've
aren't we?
organised this.
Got, we've got the very, very lovely Rosemary, who is currently on the road with the Vaxxed Bus, and she's in Kiama, which is, I believe it's on the border of New South Wales and
A bit further up.
Victoria.
A little bit
Further
further.
up. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, and she has with her tonight Anita, who is the president of the AVN, Australian Vaccination Network. Is that right?
Yep. I think it
Yeah,
is, yes. Work, yeah.
yeah. And so they've come to speak to us and to tell us what they've been doing. They've been on the road for 2 days with the Vaxxed Bus, and we want to hear what's happening. We want to know what's happening out there in the world. Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Lovely to see you both. We're well.
Yes,
Yeah,
too.
the Australian Vaccine Risks Network.
Risk.
And
I knew there was a word
yes,
missing. Yeah.
and we've been having a very, very warm welcome everywhere we've gone. It's been really good. We've actually almost been having fun, if one can have fun.
It's been really relaxed compared to other tours. It's the narrative has changed, so we get lovely welcomes everywhere we go now. It's wonderful.
We were
The people are
feted.
waking up. People are waking up. I don't know.
We're getting toots and waves. Even the lollipop man in Kiama waved at us and approvingly sort of waggled his flag at us. And last night we had some lovely locals, Sherry and Jenny and various others, brought round a most beautiful meal for us and cooked it for us, which was just lovely.
That's
Very,
great.
very fun.
So what's the feeling like? Do you get the feeling, Kiama? Are they awake and aware?
Well, they're very heavily vaxxed. Well, our experience today was that there was no one who gave us any trouble. And Sharon Cousins, who's been enormously helpful, she was a bit concerned that we might have problems with the rangers and the police or whatever. Not a whisper of trouble.
No.
We've been absolutely fine.
Well,
It was really, really nice.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with them. It's not like you're putting naked men and women all over the bus.
No, none of that. We leave that to special people.
Where did you see that?
Is it on the inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not as if you're breaking any laws or rules, it's
It doesn't always matter for us, though. We've always been a bit special, and they're a bit special with their rules and how they apply them. So no, the mood has definitely changed. Like we got in 2020 when we first toured with the bus, we were harassed like you couldn't believe. We got abused like you couldn't believe. We got kicked out of a caravan park. So, and now everywhere we go, the caravan parks are lovely, and they all tell you vaccine injury stories. Everywhere you go, people got vaccine injury stories. So it's tragic that it's been so horrific, and that's what's changed people. But yeah, the change is just 180. It's been incredible.
Today we had a very, very interesting conversation. This particular girl didn't show her face, but she's a pharmacist assistant. And she said that people are coming into that pharmacy. She wouldn't take the vaccination, so the pharmacist accepted her. But he is still a true believer, even now. Apparently his own children, who are only teenagers, have been vaccinated 6 times. But people just don't drop over with shock, but people are up to their 15th. And this pharmacist, when people come in, even if it's only 8 weeks since their last shot, it's almost like saying, do you want your prescription with chips? I can offer you the next COVID vaccination. So they're completely indiscriminate. And I imagine they're vaccinating under 18s, which of course the TGA no longer recommends. Absolutely sure they'd be doing that. If he's vaccinating his own children, you can be sure he's doing other people's.
Oh. How can they now, with the research, you don't have to do too much reading to know, with the research that's been out there from every country, so many different countries in the world. It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, what they do is they cling to the TGA, and the TGA don't recognise what Sharon Cousins has exposed on her open date. There are 1,053 deaths and 141,666 adverse events. And when I say adverse events, it doesn't mean a little bit of a sore arm or a little bit of a headache. It means, I mean, to get that kind of recognition, it has to be something serious. So that's what is really happening on open date, and that's actually the TGA's own website. But they only acknowledge 14 of the deaths, and they even say that the jury's out on those 14.
Yes.
It's insane and so misleading. And that's what, as soon as you go into a pharmacy and say, do you know that a lot more people have died, they rush to their computer, look up the TGA, say, well, they only say 14, and they're not even sure that's right. So you've just got no chance of convincing some of these people.
I think, what about we need to really question the AMBOs, don't we? Because the AMBOs will be seeing a lot of stuff firsthand, and they really should be speaking up. I mean,
a lot of people should be speaking up. Why aren't the nurses speaking up? Why aren't the doctors saying something? Why aren't the pharmacists saying, well, it's funny, isn't it, that we've got a huge uptick in people wanting blood pressure or cardiac or whatever medication. They cannot be oblivious. But, I think it was Daryl came by and he said the denial is so strong still. People are losing their younger members of their family, and they're still baffled. And the doctors are perpetually baffled. Perpetual.
Yeah.
So these people who are having 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
15.
15? Okay, so obviously there are some people out there who the jab is never going to affect them for some reason.
You don't know.
Or maybe it does, and they just put it down to something else.
It affects you neurologically.
This girl said that they come in for their 15th, and a week later they come in and say something terrible has happened to them. So obviously they're not getting away with it unscathed. But every week at the forest on the northern beaches, we would have between 6 and 10 people who come and say something's happened to them, and every week we'd have at least one medical person come and say, their favourite line is, that's a nocebo. And when it's a nocebo, it means that you've gone in to take something and you've anticipated something going wrong. So you go in there, you get a jab, and you have a heart attack, but that's because you've thought it might happen.
Talk yourself into it.
Yeah, you talk yourself into having a heart attack or a stroke. That's what we do, isn't it? We just think, I might have a stroke, and then whammo, you have a stroke.
What was that word you used?
Nocebo. It's Dr. Dan's favourite word. Everything's a nocebo. He says
nocebo instead of placebo. It's a nocebo.
Nocebo.
He actually says, "Oh, none of my patients have had problems with the vaccination." And we think, well, why hasn't he got them as patients? I mean, honestly, it's a little bit sad, really.
Oh, it is.
He's a cardiologist after all. Poor Dr. Dan. He's the govern me harder daddy boy.
Yes.
And you know what? We've spent this issue and this time going with the politicians, trying to push the politicians, but we probably need to forget them. It's the bureaucrats.
Who's our favourite politician?
Greenhill.
No, Alex Antic.
Alex. Yeah, go Alex. He's great. Yeah, he's wonderful. Yeah. He's a South Australian.
One is Mark
Greenhill.
Actually, Nathan's a second.
Oh, yes. He loves us too.
Yeah. But I don't think the politicians can do too much, because you watch them in Senate estimates, and the bureaucrats just get away with, I'll take that on notice. I'll take that on notice. Notice to whom and when,
And do they ever come clean? Do they ever actually come around and answer the question?
No. I just don't know how they get away with it, and who holds them to account,
And who votes for them.
And they never change. It doesn't matter if the government changes; they still say the same on their same big salaries, say the same things. But I mean, Alex Antic getting that non-answer in the hearing the other day from the TGA, when they said gold standard science is contextual and it's unethical to test vaccines. That was huge. That was massive. So that went so viral. So good on him. They're doing what they can with the tools they've got. That was pretty incredible.
We're luckier than a lot of places. I mean, England, the UK has absolutely no one. It's absolutely hopeless over there. They're just completely in the thrall of that lunatic Starmer.
Mm.
Well, he might go soon. Maybe. Who knows?
Mm.
The world is in a funny place, isn't it? Well, you'll see it as you travel around, I suppose. You see so many people.
We do.
Yeah.
I had 3 trips back to the UK last year, and every time I went back, it seemed worse. And people are so angry. There is a boiling rage coming out of England now. It's going to be very scary to see what happens there.
That's right.
What's going to happen in New York?
Oh, now they've got the communists in charge. That's going to be interesting.
Yes, that's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Should we introduce our fellow campers?
Oh, yes, we probably should.
Yeah.
We meet them.
Come on. We've got 2 real heroes.
We're shy. We're very shy.
They're very shy. They're quite clear.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Here's Derek, the driver.
Hi,
who can
Derek.
turn the bus.
How are
How's
you?
it?
He's got a stylish outfit. And here's Shelley. She's organised all the accommodation. No,
Hi, Shelley. How are you? So where are you?
Shelley and
Are you
Derek.
Thank you.
Husband
where are
and
you
wife
from,
is a
Shelley?
great
Are
team.
you not local?
No, we're from the actual council of Mark Greenhill. The terrible Blue Mountains. The terrible mayor, who's an absolute UN plant, and they must have lots of dirt on him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so sold out and horrible. Yeah.
I don't think he's on his own.
No.
You.
So we're from the Blue Mountains, and we're proud of the area that we live in, but we're not proud of our council. But we have some wonderful freedom fighters, friends, and we meet every Friday, and we have quite a lot that have been there ever since the whole mandates, lockdowns. So we've been going for nearly 5 years now, haven't we? Mm-hmm. With a lot of wonderful people there. Yeah.
Right.
Wonderful.
Okay.
That's great to hear.
Actually, I went to
And
the
then-
Hydro Majestic not long ago, but they wouldn't take cash.
No.
I did.
Yeah.
I did have a go at the guy.
Well, you should have taken your business elsewhere and told them so.
Well, you know what the girl did, the young girl, because she was on our page, but she was a bit scared to say too much. She's only new. So she actually took my cash and put it on her card.
Oh,
lovely.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, we'd be lost without these 2, wouldn't we?
Oh yes, this is how tours happen. With the driver is the main person, and the tour coordinator Shelley. We couldn't do without them. So
And we're staying in a great place here. Should we give them a shout out here and say, well, we're at Candles by the beach, Kiama. Very comfortable, very lovely accommodation, and the lady at the desk could not have been nicer. She obviously is a sympathetic ear. So
Yes.
we're very thrilled to be here, and we love it. And Kiama is beautiful.
Mm.
So where are you heading?
What's the itinerary? Yeah, please tell us your itinerary.
we're at Nowra tomorrow at Pyrie Hall. So if anyone's around there, and then we go to Ulladulla,
The Dunn Lewis Centre.
Oh, well
yeah.
done. There we go.
Yeah. And then Narooma at is it Kayanga? Is that how you say it?
Kianga
Homestead.
Eco-Hotel, yeah.
Yeah. And then the 15th, it says Marambula, but we're actually at the Pambula Memorial Hall.
Yeah.
The 16th, we're at Yass, and we're looking forward to Yass. We think we're going to get quite a reception in Yass. So that'll be good.
Arita has worked really hard on letting people know, and Arita's been very badly vaccine injured, and so has her husband. So she's really worked hard to get a real cohort together to support us.
Oh, I think I've met them. Are they quite tall people?
Yes, they are,
Yes.
and they've been on the show with Michael in the past.
Yes.
So,
I met them in Canberra when I went to a High Court hearing. They were there.
great couple, and
nice.
really have pushed the boat out for us. So we have a real gratitude for those 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
fabulous.
And then the 17th will be in Goulburn, but we haven't got a venue there. We'll just be pulling up near the big merino and seeing who wants to come and chat. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of sheep jokes about waking up the sheep or something, the bus near the sheep. That's going to be
Can I
hilarious.
crack a joke right now?
Yeah.
That sheep's got enormous balls, and that's what we have in the AVN. Sorry to be so.
And then we finish in Bowral on the 18th, and that's going to be lovely too because Philip Altman and crew are organising that. So that'll be quite a lovely event there. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. So how often have you done these trips? When was the last one?
We did a week in August.
Yes.
We did a week in like the above, how would you say, from the Northern Rivers down to Sydney, basically. We did a week there.
And that was great, wasn't it? I mean, we didn't have too much pushback until we got to Katoomba.
No, until Blue Mountains. But I mean, we've been previously banned. We've been banned by the Blue Mountains Council, the Newcastle Council, and the Sydney City Council. So, you know, we're outlaws.
Oh, Sydney. Hey, why don't you put a curtain over the writing and drive into town and then drop the curtain?
Good idea.
We'll just paint it rainbow coloured and everyone will love it.
Oh, they love it. Yeah.
Stick a flag out. They'll go, welcome, come in.
Put a bit of glitter on it. We'll be right.
Yeah, that's right. And Mr. Albanese might give you a walk in front of you, you know, and wave the flags.
Derek, you put his foot
I
down.
think I'll be right. Putting the foot down on the funnel.
You mean from behind?
If he was in front of me.
Yeah, but it's really heartening getting all the toots and waves from the public as we drive past. We've had a pretty warm reception.
Oh, well, just picking up the bus the other day from the storage, just going back to where we were housing, we got 2 people stopped us at the traffic lights and we're like, yes, we love you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Like, it's just completely changed. It's just, yeah, from where we were in 2020, it's incredible.
Can I mention something about the storage? They haven't charged the ABN at all.
No, they
But
have.
they did. Oh, okay. But the owner of the storage, her mother died a week after the flu shot. So they're very serious.
So the people you're seeing, are people who've been injured recently with the COVID vaccinations, or are you still people?
Well, interesting you bring that up. People need to watch the Sharon Cousins interview we did yesterday, because she just recently got a whole lot of new information. And the under 18 lack of recommendation for those under 18 is not being adhered to. I'm not sure of the date, but it is on the TGA site that a breastfed baby from, I imagine, a recently vaccinated mother had something called, what was it called? Megali. And that meant a swollen heart, erratic and chest pain and swollen limbs. And this was a breastfed baby. But tragically, there were young children again who'd been adversely affected. It is reckless, dangerous behaviour that they're vaccinating without any recommendation any longer from the TGA. The latest, if people get onto Open DAEN, Sharon has done the most remarkable job, and her interview yesterday gave out so much information. I hope people will watch that and take notes. But most moving of all was Lisa, whose son was a fit 29-year-old. He waited till the last before he took a mandated jab, and he got very, very bad pericarditis. I think 75% of his heart had been affected, and the poor darling died just prior to the cut-off date for compensation. And Mark Butler behaved disgustingly. He said to them that their last option was to go, I can't remember what the term was, something like the empathetic payment. And he suggested that they went for that. And she took 9 months to get the information together to provide what was necessary for that. And it was just last week they said, no, it's not suitable. Oh, you've exhausted all your options. You only have one more option, and that is to take the government to court by hiring your own lawyer. And this lady, she was not a wealthy woman, but her son left at the time, I think the children were 11 and 3 or 4, 2 little girls, and she's fighting for her son's children. It was just heartbreaking. So please have a look at that. That video is going viral, actually. We're up to about 175,000 views already. That needs to go out. Mark Butler should be, well, I don't like to say what I think should happen to Mark Butler. I might go to jail if I say that. But his behaviour is just unconscionable. And
no empathy.
We were just saying today, we were discussing Karen Phelps and her partner, who were both vaccine damaged. I would guess they had no problem getting compensation. But the little people like Lisa and her son and her grandchildren are getting absolutely no help. And this really is just outrageous, particularly as these were mandated. Philip Altman is asking for help with a court case, which will hopefully dismantle this mandated issue, because if we don't have mandates anymore, our lives will be a lot freer. Our children should not be getting vaccines because they're made to go to childcare. It's just so wrong.
Not at all.
Actually, Anita is the expert on that. How criminal is it that our children are being mandated to go to childcare?
Oh, it's coercive in the extreme. Because the AVN actually lobbied originally in the 1990s. They tried to link government payments and stuff to vaccination status, and the AVN in those days wasn't the hated anti-vaxxers at all. We were considered quite reasonable. And Meryl Dorey and Lynn Kershaw went down to Canberra and was helped around Canberra, given office space by people like Bob Brown and Natasha Stott Despoja and Brian Harradine, were all very wonderful. And they got a amendment put through the Senate to allow the conscientious objection form. So for 20 years, parents had the right to conscientiously object to vaccination, and they had to sign a form with their doctor and they could get all their payments. And then about 2010, Murdoch Media started the No Jab, No Pay campaign. And isn't it amazing that the legislation was called the very thing that the Murdoch headlines were called? It's quite stunning.
And isn't it funny that the Murdoch Institute is a promoter of vaccinations? Isn't that a funny
And who was the politicians that pushed that through, the No Jab, No
Scott
Pay?
Morrison. And it wasn't health. It was social services minister, because it's nothing to do with health. It was all about payments. And the AVN actually got top legal advice then, because we were going to try to take that to court. And we were told, you'll spend $500,000 and you will lose this case, was the advice we got from a top QC. And we didn't have $500,000 and we didn't really want to lose the case. So unfortunately that legislation went through, and that set the track for everything you saw with COVID. Because we screamed then, this is going to lead to mandates for adults, and no one would listen. And we were told we were crazy baby killers and we should vaccinate our kids, and you morons and you crazy hippies. Now we're far-right extremists. We used to be hippies.
We've lost direction. We've done a U-turn without knowing it. Just before we go any further, I saw a request for where they can find the videos from the last couple of days, and that was on the No Jab, No Pay, No Play.
No way. No jab, no pay, no way.
Freedom
of choice. Facebook page.
Yep. So please go to that.
Yeah.
Or follow Rosie's page. You'll find it all there too.
Until I'm banned.
No Jab, No Play. It's just, I thought Greg Hunt had something to do with that.
Yeah, well, he was later on. Scott Morrison was the minister that pushed that all through. I think that's why he was rewarded with the leadership, because he did all the disgusting pulling of that. But Malcolm Turnbull was, Prime Minister when all that happened, and his wife at the time was on the board of Prima Biomed, and when all that legislation went through, her share price all went woohoo, but no one would point that out because they're all in the same trough. Yeah,
it's all a coincidence.
So it's all disgusting.
It's wicked, isn't it? But it's in your face. That's what. It's not even trying to be hidden. Although they think we're all stupid. I'm not quite sure. Yeah.
I don't think they care.
Exactly.
They're just so blatant. They know enough people have enough apathy not to care. They just don't care anymore. That's why it's got a little scary, really, because their level of not hiding anything more. They've taken down that screen at the back of the cinema, and it's just the brick wall, and that's what you're seeing now. They don't have to put the show on anymore.
No, it's quite shocking.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
My grandchildren are homeschooled, and the number of children in the homeschool community here in the Adelaide Hills that have joined because they, first of all, none of the kids are or very few of the kids are vaccinated. And so you can't go to kindergarten here in South Australia unless you're vaccinated, but you can go to school. Is that the same in all other states?
Yes,
I think so.
Although that's
no jab, no pay, and no jab, no play only relate to the non-compulsory years of schooling.
Although
so
in New South Wales, I think it's changed, hasn't it?
No. So it's only for the compulsory. So people, they do miss like their early childhood education, which I think is very fortunate for those children, actually.
Yeah.
But no, and people always ask us why it's not compulsory for school yet. And what one of our legal people told us was because the no jab, no pay and play is so successful at crueling most parents into vaccinating, they haven't touched the schooling yet. That's what they say. Because
I think it's interesting that on 60 Minutes a couple of weeks ago, that I didn't watch it because I just will not watch mainstream, but they had a whole show about the booming in the homeschool.
It was good.
Did they mention? Did they mention anything about vaccinations in the?
No, it was just about. But they did mention unschooled, because my kids have been unschooled. My kids have never seen a classroom, never been forced through a curriculum, anything like that. And through COVID, we saw, especially in Queensland, our homeschooling rate exponentially increase. And they were trying to bring in legislation in Queensland last year to basically label anyone who homeschooled as a terrible person and should be under, and they were trying to make us all join the national curriculum. And they did not count on the mummies in Queensland, because we just let loose. And we all put in submissions, and me and a lot of my friends, we appeared at the hearing, and we just gave it to them. And like a lot of these mummies are lawyers and teachers and all sorts of things. And we thought we'd get amendments. They trashed every bit of legislation we didn't like. It was the most winning thing I'd ever seen. Like, so if enough people get up and lobby people, everyone went and visited. It was incredible. So well done to the mummies.
They were quite taken aback by the response, weren't they? I remember a podcast, and they said, "Oh, we didn't think that the response would be so eloquent." I don't know what
eloquent and strong. They just went, "Oh, don't touch the homeschool mummies." It was
don't touch the mother bears. Leave the mother bears alone.
Or something. Oh my gosh, or written on stone tablets. Gosh.
This is what I don't get when they say, "Oh, you have to take it to court, and it's going to cost $500,000." Why does it cost $500,000 for some truth to be told?
Corruption.
Because the system's not designed for you to get truth. And I mean, you saw like some cases, even when people win, they still lose and get costs and stuff. Like, well, I can tell you why it adds up that quick. At the time when we got for preliminary advice, a QC was $16,000 a day. So it's not hard to get half.
Sorry, why is he worth? Is he worth that because he's given half to the other side?
Well, but see, at the time, we were so devastated by that advice. But seeing how all the court cases went during COVID, we're like, it probably was good advice. Because you imagine if we'd spent all that money and lost then, because people spent a lot of money on a lot of cases through COVID, and it just shows you, like with the AVN babies case, you've got this huge case, all this evidence, and they just say, you don't have standing. You just don't have the right to bring the case. Like, if we didn't have standing and the other person taken to court, in our case, didn't have standing, who does have standing? And that's how they get you. They just say, no, you're not going to hear it.
Yeah, and who is it up to who makes a decision on who's the standing?
Exactly.
That's the interesting. Is the registrar? Is it who is it? They're the ones that won't stamp it. They have a lot to do with it. So I think there's a big door to open into the whole legal system and they must know that we know it's corruption, and it's just. Yeah. I mean, I had time in court, but the costs were zero because I self-represented and I won. So, it can be done, I guess, depending on I think they just did it to get rid of me.
You troublemaker.
Well, I wasn't going to back down. So, it was costing them, not me. But still,
well done.
I just
well done.
Why it should be there, if there's something to be seen, and it shouldn't be up to one person. Like, our whole system is rigged. It shouldn't be up to one person to make that decision either. There should be a jury.
There should be a jury, but of course they're avoiding that because they weren't going so well for them.
No, they won't go there because they got rid of all that. Yeah, one person.
We've got to bring it back.
They do.
Yeah,
we do need to bring it back. Yes. No. Anyway. So, tomorrow you're off to
Nowra.
Oh, that'll be nice too.
It's not far away, so we'll be up there at 10 o'clock, and ready to meet people and do more interviews. So we've got a few booked for tomorrow.
We do, yeah. We have bookings on the website at avn.org.au, and while we have a booking system, when we first used to tour with the bus, we just tell people where we're turning up and the times. But it was sort of first in, first serve, and sometimes really vaccine injured people would be waiting for hours for their interview, and we just couldn't have that. So we brought in the booking system so that people that are injured can book, they know they can come at that time and be interviewed. But you certainly can just walk up and be interviewed. You're most welcome to do that. You don't have to book. We just have the booking system to accommodate really ill people who simply just can't hang around somewhere for hours at a time.
And so these interviews are being aired on your page, Rosie, and on the
Yep.
The no jab, no pay, no way, freedom of choice page.
Could you
Freedom
put
of
that
thought
up, please, for us? Because someone's asking for where they can see them. And
No jab, no pay,
no
no
jab, no pay,
whistle.
no way, freedom of choice.
Yeah. So we're putting them all up there.
That's because we lost our Facebook page a long time ago. That's a
Yeah.
backup page we had. That's a backup page we had from back in the no jab, no pay days. So
Yeah. And today I put, I think it was 5 little 2-minute videos up, so people can get a snapshot of what it's been like. Yesterday we did longer videos. I didn't do any short ones. It just ebbs and flows like that with no real sort of.
it just depends on the people on the day. Yeah.
Are you getting an indication of the people who come to speak with you? How many of them would have actually reported it, or not even
None.
reported? No.
Well, the lady whose son died, she didn't even know what the TGA was.
None of them have reported them. So, even Sharon, she says that between 1% and 6% of injuries and deaths are reported. But look, I don't think we're even seeing anything close to the reality of what's being reported, because so many people, they're so thrown by the format that has to be fulfilled to get anything reported. And of course, the doctors are still really reluctant to attribute anything to a vaccine injury. They're still at risk of losing their license. And in hospitals, I've yet to find someone. I mean, I know I repeat myself about that young man, Lex, who came and spoke to me at DY, but it could almost be comical, like something out of Monty Python. 20 minutes ago, he had an injection, turns up at hospital, he can't see anymore. And he said, could it be the Pfizer injection I had 20 minutes ago? And they said, oh, no, can't possibly be that. I mean, it's almost comical that anyone could be that obtuse. But, the phalanx of doctors and nurses all just ridiculed him for even imagining it might be what had happened to him 20 minutes before. Yeah. It's outrageous.
It is.
Don't get me started on Brittany.
I spoke to a lady today, and her daughter had the second Gardasil. She had Gardasil, and she said it nearly killed her when she was a teenager. Yeah. I said, did you report it? She said no.
Well, that's like all the original stories we've got from pre-COVID, all those original tours of all those horrific injuries from every vaccine under the sun. I don't think any of those had reported either. I can't remember anyone who had said they had reported. Yeah.
No, because they didn't. At that stage, people were trusting, I suppose.
No, well, in our vaccine community, they weren't by that stage, but even they hadn't reported. But see, the TGA has a long history of removing reactions, because Gabby Larkin died of the Gardasil vaccine, I think, in 2016, and that was reported to the TGA by her doctor, and they removed that report. And the FOIs revealed that they had removed several reports. They just remove them at will. If they don't think that's, oh, no, that wasn't vaccine related, they remove them at will. So, you can report all you want, but they'll still either remove or just simply deny, because that's how they roll. That's what they do.
Pharma companies.
A normal person would be embarrassed. A normal person would think this is shameful.
The person removing it, though. I mean, the person removing it, do they not have no soul? I bet you if you looked in their eyes, they'd be no soul. They'd be dead.
Psychopaths. They'd have to be a psychopath.
Vaxxed and boosted, I'd reckon.
Yeah.
I don't know how doctors are coping with the new status that's been lumped on them now, because I'm yet to meet anyone who feels that the status of doctors has gone up in their eyes. I just think people have become really jaded with the lack of compassion and the hubris that most of these doctors are exhibiting. It's very hard to feel any kind of empathy or admiration for them. It really is.
Well, except sad. The ones that speak out and lose their jobs.
And lose their jobs and get fined. Yeah, and then when they do leave APRA, they're still chasing after them. I know someone like that. They're still chasing them, Unbelievable. It is. So, is APRA there another organisation?
But see, they started doing this for any doctor that spoke about vaccines long before COVID. Like in 2017, they got rid of Dr. John Peace and doctors like Dr. Kevin Coleman, who simply mildly said things like, some vaccines can cause reactions in some people. That's as mild. You can speak out, and if you're seen to be doing that, out you go. They will find way to remove you. So, it's not new under the sun. It's just everyone noticed with COVID. So COVID's been a blessing in that way. We've been screaming this stuff for years. And I always say I'm really angry that it took COVID for people to care. Like, babies are pincushions and have been suffering so long. and no one, we were the horrible people for pointing it out, and now all these adults got injured, and suddenly everyone cares. And I'm honestly, I'm still grudgy and angry about that, and how many babies have been sacrificed at this altar before people gave a single damn about it. It's been a long road.
20 years.
I've been doing this for 20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
She's the old guard.
What brought you to do this, Anita? What was your...
I was always a little skeptical of vaccines because can you remember in 1998, Wayne Bennett did an interview on Australian Story, and his son Justin is vaccine injured from a DPT vaccine. And I went, oh, wow, like that's horrible. And then when I went to boarding school, I had a school nurse whose daughter was injured by a DPT vaccine as well, and she was quite injured. And I thought, wow, that's this 1 in a million thing I'm told that never happens, and that's 2. So that was, and I was a real cynic too. I'm like, that'll be my kid. Like, that's just my luck. That'll be my kid. So I had that feeling. But then when I had my first daughter, she had the Hep B at birth because I still, hadn't researched, but she had terrible jaundice and projectile vomiting and screaming for the first 6 weeks of her life, which I didn't attribute to the Hep B at the time, but I knew it wasn't right. I knew something was very, very wrong. And then she became covered in eczema. And I was very fortunate. A family friend gave me a copy of one of the AVN's books, which was Vaccination Roulette. And so I read the AVN's book, and I just discovered all this stuff about vaccines. And then so I became a member. I kept buying books. All the pregnant mums I knew were getting books. I started writing letters and screaming about this. And then eventually I joined the committee. And yeah, because once you find this stuff out, I just couldn't shut up. Like, people always tell me I'm crazy and passionate. I'm like, I don't know why you're not passionate.
Exactly.
Like, how could you not be passionate about this stuff? Yeah. My God. So, that's what got me into it.
Talking of DTaP, we met a lady today called Naz, and she was saying that her little boy, when he was 18 months, had the DTaP injection, and he kept coming out with cellulitis, it can be fatal. And he ended up on endless antibiotics. Anyway, look out for her little talk with me, 2-minute talk, where she describes what happened to her.
If you could only get this to all the new mothers out there, all the young mothers, you think
well, you know what? There's a lot of Instagram accounts now of young mums. Like Tay Winterstein Australia was amazing for the young mums because she was in that young mum community. Like, I'm old and jaded, not in all that stuff. It's very hard. But there's a lot of young women that are on, like, Instagram now is just chockers with vaccine information. Like, once we were this lone voice, and now it's just everywhere. It's almost, dare I say it, trendy to question vaccines now. So I have great hope, and we've seen some lovely young mums with unvaxxed babies, and their little eyes twinkle, and they're so engaged, and they're so perfect. And it's the best part of the tour is meeting all the unjabbed babies.
We love that. Yeah. We love babies.
Yes, that's right.
My little granddaughter is just turned 1, and she started walking at just over 9.5 months, and she's so witty. Like, I know that you, as a grandparent, you think that they're just the bee's knees, don't you? But honestly, this little kid, she's just got such a great sense of wit and timing, and I think back to my little grandson, who I love dearly, but he was given the first 2 lots of vaccinations before we realised. And I said to him today, I said, you're very different to your sister. You were a bit of a potato for the first couple of years. I said, look at your sister. She's just so, what's the word? Like, vibrant, I suppose, is the word I'm trying to find.
Alive.
Yeah. There's no, sometimes you see little kids and they've almost got a bit of a...
They're vacant.
Yep.
Like a lot of adults.
You see that quite often.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's just...
Well, when you think they've had 43 injections before they're 4, unsurprisingly. The worst thing is the thought of the 18-month one when they get 3 in each limb. How can that be?
At birth.
How can that be? Just imagine having 3 in each limb, 3 in each leg, and then 3 in each... Who would do that?
Now, do you ladies have a take on why they prick the heel? We had a guest on that said they prick the heel for the DNA.
APGAR test. Yeah.
Well, they tell you it's just for those few genetic diseases, but I'm sure they've got it all on file somewhere. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to find out more on that.
Yeah. Yes. No, for sure.
It'd be interesting to find out more on that. They won't tell you the truth, though, probably. And then freedom of information.
Oh, you think?
Either.
You think, Kay? You sure? What's all this misinformation?
We're just a tad cynical now, aren't we?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
enough.
Exactly. Oh no, that's you're doing wonderful work. It's fantastic. I think I don't know how many vaccines my kids ever got. I can't remember them taking them. I probably was too busy. I don't really remember because it was back in the 80s.
It didn't seem significant. It was just a little prick, wasn't it? Just a little prick by a big prick giving them.
Given by a big prick.
Given by a big prick.
But it wasn't an issue. Like when the ABN started in the 94, Meryl said when they started, not vaccinating wasn't really a thing. Like you did or you didn't. Some people might think you're a bit weird, but it wasn't this big social taboo. Like it simply wasn't. That didn't come until about 2008, 2010 when they started pushing all this no jab crap. Until then, it was just whatever.
Personal preference.
Personal preference.
With the pharma companies around that time, that'd be good to see when the money started flowing in with the pharma companies. That'd be a really good exercise to see when that came in as to when this got really serious, as to what money was given to the government to push it.
Yeah, and like James Murdoch, when he got on the board of the drug company over Glaxo, that's when they got rid of Andrew Wakefield saying spread out the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, because, Murdoch was invested in the MMR. So they got rid of the only measles options that people had and made them get the MMR. Like it's all a bit of a Murdoch circle really at the top.
Yes, it's a little bit incestuous.
Evil.
It is. It's evil. That's the best word for it, evil. I've said that more than any time I've ever said it before in the last couple of years.
Yeah, because it's true.
Yeah, there's the key words that we use now, aren't there? There's evil, shit show. What was the other one? Oh, my husband psychopath. Yeah, and my husband's favourite is communist motherfuckers. Yeah.
That kind of guy.
Same.
Oh, look at Daryl's written here.
All right, well, we wish you well with the rest of the tour, ladies.
I was going to ask one thing. Did you come to Victoria?
Did we? It has been to Victoria. The bus did go to Victoria after all your lockdowns. It took a while for the bus to get to Victoria. I think Meryl went in 23. But no, this has sort of been some trial run tours, these ones, to get Rosie up to speed and see if she liked doing what we do. Because ultimately we want to get to WA next year, because we never got to WA because of McGowan and all that stuff. So yeah, these have been training tours because we actually have done these areas before, but there's a whole new audience for us now, though, just the same. Huge.
You haven't been to South Australia, have you?
No, so we'd want to go, that's the plan next year. We'll go to South Australia and then WA. So watch this space, depending how crazy and upside down the world is by then. But that's plan A at this stage.
Yeah, that's great.
Perhaps you could come via Victoria. I reckon if you came down into Victoria and followed the Murray along, you'd have a lot of, follow the Murray along. I reckon that would be a great community space to go through, all those towns.
Yeah, no, well,
sounds great.
My tour plans are here, so I'm telling you.
And quite picturesque as well.
Yeah, because I'm sure you'd get plenty of help with people in Victoria for places to go. Yeah, you would. I think there's lots of pockets here. Yeah.
Well, we're meeting very kind people, and tomorrow night we're staying with other like-minded people who are looking after us. So we're very, very grateful for the support.
Oh, we're very blessed. And people say, "Oh, thank you for all your hard work," but really, it's a privilege to do this. It's an honour to meet all these people, and it's heartbreaking, but you make the best relationships and you meet the best people. I always tell people it's a really weird experience because you can see the worst of humanity and the best of humanity in the same 5 minutes. It's a real weird thing.
It is.
That's true. That's how I used to feel when I used to interview for Jab Injuries Australia. Like, you'd be interviewing these people and hearing these heartbreaking stories, but you'd come away from it feeling like they were, well, obviously telling their story had given them a feeling of being someone listening for a start.
You validate.
Yes, validation. Right back in the beginning, in particular, when the stories were first coming out, people thought they were being treated so horrendously, or they're still being treated horrendously, but back then they were just being told that was all in their head and all that sort of thing. And we'd interview them, and I'd spend like 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours talking to people, and I would say, I believe you. Like, I believe you. Like, I've heard this before. You're not the first person who's told me that they've got, dysautonomia, or they can't stand up without tripping and falling over, or all the things, all the women who had period problems, and it's I miss, it's silly to say, but I miss doing that because I felt like I was doing a really good service. It was just such a shame that all folded.
Yeah. Well, a lady called Donna discussed that today. She's got 2 daughters who she saved from getting these injections, and they tell their mother how they know so many young women now in their age group who can't have children or are having problems with them. I mean, there was this whole, and the miscarriages, we heard a lot about miscarriages today.
And that on top of all the Gardasil injuries that have also, like Gardasil has been horrific for fertility. That was one of the main, before the COVID stuff, the Gardasil vaccine has just been carnage.
Horrific.
And we hear repeatedly, the last I heard was that there used to be 4 miscarriages a year, or stillbirths a year, and now they're seeing 4 a week in some of the larger practices where they're burying a lot of, and how it's not coming out. I met a funeral director when I was helping a politician recently in their election, and she said it's just bewildering that they're seeing so many babies and yet the staff still won't relate it to what's happened with these injections. And it's so obvious to her, all these calcified placentas that mean the babies don't go past 7 months, and of course they're not viable at that point. So the child expires from lack of nutrient, basically.
Horrible. It's too sad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
Thank you so much for
Just
your
on
time.
a happy note, but people are waking up. People are seeing the
People
people
waking up.
can see. Yeah.
we're feeling
We're
positive.
No, it's so different. It's so different. Like from 2020, we just got attacked everywhere we went and got chucked out, to now we're welcome everywhere. It's huge. You can feel the energy shift. You really can. And the haters don't hate as much now because they know. You just don't. They're like, we can't go there.
I just keep smiling and they won't be able to hate you, Anita.
They hate from a distance instead of up in your face.
They love Rosie.
Oh,
Rosie's
yes,
got her own
unpopular.
fan club.
Oh, I'm really flattered, actually. They've started doing drawings of it, warm up the laminator. I find it quite funny. The laminator's always warm, let me tell you. I've always got it on a slow heat, ready.
Oh, that's great.
Ready for anything.
Oh,
Thank
all
you
right.
very much.
Well, safe travel.
Yep. Happy traveling. Have fun.
Lovely seeing you both. Thank you so much. It's been really lovely.
Thank you for taking the time.
All right.
No
We're ready
worries.
for Kelly. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
We were farmers near Castlemaine when COVID came and shut our whole town down. And as the kids and I headed home, my husband risked it all by working to keep our little farm alive, whilst I did everything that the government told me to. And I made sure that my kids followed suit. I'd always thought that the end of it all would be another war, and not me and my grown kids sitting here and watching the TV, and not me and my kids watching TV. And outside the windows, the wheat continued to grow as the barley rolled and danced with the wind. As the barley rolls and dances with the wind. But then the vaccines arrived to save us all, so we lined up and rolled up our sleeves. We lined up and rolled up our sleeves, gratefully, 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 gratefully. On a Monday night, my daughter suddenly died when a blood clot burst inside her lungs. Then a few weeks later, my husband found my son on our kitchen floor. We found our son dead on our kitchen floor. We buried our beautiful kids with all of their unrealized dreams. And outside the but no one would say. Together they were all as silent as the moon. And then COVID moved on, just like the flu. The only difference is that I was now alone. For my husband is gone now too. Our doctor told me that his heart that was so strong, it had seen him build this farm, had just suddenly given way, had just suddenly given way. And outside the windows, the wheat continued to grow as the barley rolled and danced with the wind. And outside the windows, the wheat continued to grow as the barley rolled and danced with the wind. As the barley rolls and dances with the wind. So now I'm selling the farm, I mean, what else can I do? The fences need repairing and the harvest is long overdue. Plus I know the bank will come knocking soon. I know the bank will come knocking soon. And outside the windows, the wheat continues to grow as the barley rolls and dances with the wind.